go watch Kate. Now, for those of you that actually require a little bit of convincing, I'll do my best. Woman. Assassin. Japan. A lot of action. A pretty good plot. Aesthetic as hell. Basically, female John Wick in Japan. If you're somehow still not convinced, basic premise is orphan girl, tragic backstory, is picked up and mentored into being a lethal killing machine and perfect for assassination, no ties and nothing to lose, and just performs the job until obviously she wants to kind of leave the business, which, as we all know in these typical things, people can't just leave. So of course things have to get in the way of that one way or another, whether it be foul play or just a mission gone awry. I'm not really going to spoil anything because honestly, where's the fun in that? That would kind of be defeating the purpose of me wanting you to go watch this. But yeah, the reviews I saw essentially said it was a John Wick-like movie, which kind of, when it comes to these like copy and paste or like just kind of cloned versions of movies, they're normally cashed in and just very like poorly made or just all right. This, however, I understand where the comparison is. However, it felt like its own movie at the same time. At no point was I like, well, John Wick did that better. It just feels like its own movie with elements that you can kind of pull from that. It really just nails the fights and like the overall pacing. At no point did I really feel bored during this movie. It just kept going and kept ramping up. It's basically a revenge plot slash just like mystery of trying to figure out who the target is and who's to blame for this whole situation, and really getting down to it and uncovering like just a cycle that just kind of keeps repeating and whatnot. It's very interesting. It's not too deep. You don't have to get your like thinking cap on and get real like dug in for this. It's pretty just dumb fun for a lot of it, but it still has a lot of heart. Almost every character in this I didn't feel like was poorly acted. Even the side ones that are on there for like 2 minutes before fight scene is just enjoyable. So I have no real complaints. Overall, it's just a fun ride. The fights, oh my god, the choreography, what can I say other than it's just really fun. It's legitimately just like slapping guns and like that perfect like hand-to-hand combat, and even when there's gunplay, it just feels like shooting it and the bullets aren't infinite. Like you feel like they have to reload, and just like flipping the gun to hit with it when it calls for that, with like tanto knives and just swords thrown in there. It's super creative. It almost just people getting like flung off buildings or like down alleyways, just like these Tokyo streets of just neon lights and stuff. And it's just really fun to look at. There is a car chase scene in this movie that I had fun with it, but it definitely was kind of corny because it's very like the neon lights underneath the cars, like you feel like they're about to start Tokyo drifting. About to like have a Fast and Furious cameo. And it definitely gets like very cartoony with like the physics of like hitting cars, and like cars literally get like hit but just like kind of go boom and keep going. It's very cartoonish, but I had fun with it. I felt like I was just watching gameplay for like Burnout Paradise. But yeah, that was really the only thing I was like, this is a little whack, but it is what it is. It just, oh my god, honestly, it's a fun movie. Please go check it out. I really don't know how I can really sell it more than that. It's an hour and a half long movie. You're not wasting an entire day to watch it. It's worth your time, I promise. Some side bits not really concerning the plot. There's actually a scene in the opening that has like a skyscraper office building that has like an AMV for Tokyo Ghoul playing on the side, which was super cool just to see that. I was just like, I've seen that. It's just like, and like my brain went into like literature mode of like, why are the curtains blue? The author made it because they were feeling sad or to depict this. And I was like, oh, is this like, since this is the beginning of the movie, is this supposed to be like, oh, is it gonna get fucked up? Like, because I know where Tokyo Ghoul goes, and it's rough. So I was definitely like overthinking it there and just kind of like, oh, please tie it in. Have somebody getting thrown out of a skyscraper or something, just like and symbolize the same imagery or something. That was a total like wish on my part. It doesn't actually have anything to do with it. It was just an aesthetic and I liked it regardless. The other bit, the music is definitely just like J-rock, J-pop, and all these different local bands that play throughout it, and it just feels like somebody finally was like excited and got the excuse to play their mixtape and just like all their favorite songs on their playlist just to put into a movie, because it was like, I don't know, some of the songs were like, all right, it's an interesting choice of music for this point, but nothing felt too out of place. But it definitely felt like it was just like, all right, can I play the song? So whoever got to play their songs on this, I'm happy for you too. So yeah, that's really in a nutshell the movie Kate. Pretty simple. I think the most successful John Wick movies have to also just use the main character's name as the title of the movie, apparently. A similar title, just one little side extra that is also kind of a John Wick-esque movie with Mads Mikkelsen that is really good as well, but the pacing's a little really rapid fast or really drags, is called Polar. Go check that one out as E2 as well, because I thought it was a pretty enjoyable watch. It's just as brutal in its action, and relating back to Tokyo Ghoul, that torture scene basically felt similar to it as well. Oof. That's a good movie. A little longer, but definitely enjoyable. I still think Kate was the better of the two. John Wick, I still think definitely, obviously, probably sits as the best one, but this was a really fun ride, and I just sat down to watch it on a whim, so I almost didn't even watch it, and I was skipping past everything like, all right, that sounds interesting enough, and yeah, so that's all we have to talk about for today. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.